Hi guys, welcome back to the podcast with S
and K.
How can we switch that up? I don't know what's going on today.
Do you think you're S?
I guess I'm Samira, like. Well, this is a little bit of an awkward start because I low-key forgot the intro. It's been so long.
Yes.
I wish we had filmed a week ago, but with busy schedules, it just wasn't possible, but we hope you got to celebrate Mother's Day.
Yes.
Today, our topic is
humility.
And we're so excited to speak on it because we both think that's a really important thing to have in your life. And yeah, before we begin, let's talk about our days. What happened today or yesterday?
My day's been good. My weekend's been good so far. Not to brag, but I got into student council yesterday. I found out, and it was 10 out of 80 students, which is a lot to me because a lot of people were running, and I do feel bad that not everyone had a chance to get in, but I'm very grateful to God that I was one of them who could get in.
Everybody had a chance. You just deserved it more.
Exactly. And then yesterday there was a grad party at John Stone's house, which was fun, celebrating like this new journey for him. And then today I woke up around like 8, showered and got ready. Obviously not all the way ready because I still have my bonnet on, but then Caleb picked me up. We went driving for a little bit, and then now we're here filming the podcast. And today we have to go to another grad party, which is Anne's graduation party. So that's going to be fun as well. How was your weekend day?
Yesterday, it was just low-key kind of blur. Went to John Stone's graduation, helped set it up, and then I dipped off to work, came back, and was there till like 2 a.m. Woke up today at 9:20. I left my house at 9:40, so I'm not ready. I low-key don't look any different from how I woke up. But yeah, we're going to go to Anne's, and then today's the graduation ceremony for my school, so I'll be helping there. And I have a cute outfit picked out. Hopefully it works on me. And yeah, I'm very excited.
Yes, it's going to be a fun day. And then tomorrow is church, obviously, and then there's all like the graduation ceremonies for Walkie and Walkie Northwest. So I'll be at those. So it's just going to be really busy next 2-3 weeks because of all these graduations.
Exactly. And like tomorrow, I don't even know if I'll be able to go to these graduations because of just timing. I'm babysitting and I'm going to these ones on my wall and on my mirror and on my
yeah.
But we're so excited. Anywho, so yeah, that's all I have. But we do have our snack board today. Brownies, cookies, scotcheroos, and some toast because I have my Kenyatta Pride tea and I'm so excited to drink that.
Kenyan tea.
And you gotta clock it when we say that because Kenyan tea is the best tea.
Right.
Exactly, as she wears Kenyan bracelets. Mind you, she's not Kenyan.
Representing. Y'all should be happy.
Representing me.
Whatever.
And yeah, so with humility, that's what we call being humble. How do you think you see your personal humbleness or like humility shine throughout your day-to-day life? Where do you feel like you don't put others down when you're up?
I don't ever put others down.
Good.
Ever. I can't do it. It doesn't make me feel good. And it doesn't make anyone like, y'all. Putting somebody down does not make you like ahead or like more better on a different level. I don't like putting people down because it makes me feel bad. Like I want everyone to be happy and I want everyone to feel their best about themselves, if that makes sense. Like I would never just because like I'm in a good mood put Kayla down. Like I love encouraging others. That's just the type of person I am. So you won't catch me ever putting somebody else down. Like it's not me at all. I don't do that. It's not cute and it's not a nice thing. So if you put others down, you should stop because you don't really know how that makes you feel, and it doesn't how that makes the person feel, and it doesn't make you any better. Just know that.
I agree 100%. Like, I know that we both do a lot for other people, especially. And like when you're doing that, I feel like humility can also come with helping. And I've never thought of this till like now. So whatever I'm about to say, or say, oh my gosh, whatever I'm about to say, let it be of the Lord and not of me.
Mm-hmm.
But I see humility and hope as of the same thing, kind of, because, or not the same thing, but different, but they work together. Because let's say you're helping someone. I'm helping Samira move.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I'm helping her move out of her house and maybe into a bigger one. They're doing better than me. I'm very humble. Maybe I have a bigger house, but I'm still like, okay, I'm helping you get there. You know, like everybody's on a different journey. And when it comes to helping, like a lot of the times you help people who are in need, but you can never put yourself before them when doing that.
Yeah.
That's why I love mission trips because it takes a lot of humility to go on one and say, these people are in a low place. I need to immerse myself in their place in order to understand them fully because I'm not of any higher ground to them.
Yeah.
Especially in God's eyes, we're all equal, you know?
And
So.
I mean, I'm going on my first mission trip this summer in July. So that's gonna definitely be like an experience for me that I'm looking forward to because I love helping people. It's my thing. My mom's always like me. I take after my mom a lot because she helps people too. But my mom's like, why are you always, like out and doing this? I'm like, Mom, I gotta help. Even if they don't ask me to, like, I feel like being, like, I'm such a helpful person. I want them to feel like they're not alone in anything that they're doing. So the mission trip is definitely going to be a fun experience and, like, really open my eyes because we're doing a lot of different projects and, meeting new people. So I would say that's, like, going to take a lot of humility to do.
I agree. And here in Proverbs 11:2, it says, when pride comes, then comes disgrace. But with humility comes wisdom. So I feel like when you don't put yourself first or when you don't think of yourself on any higher level, you gain a lot of wisdom, you gain a lot of knowledge on not only about you, but about others. And I think that's really important to witness. And I can attest to that in so many different ways because there's been a lot of times where maybe people got a role that I don't think they got. Okay, I'm gonna be vague, but I'm not gonna be vague. It's gonna be a weird whatever. But let's say NHS. I ran for NHS. Let's say someone on NHS got a position where I think there's possibly someone who could do better, and that person could be me. I have to be humble enough to say, okay, there'll be another opportunity. It's okay. They deserved it. They got it. At the end of the day, what it is done. You know, it's finished. It's concluded. You have to have humility to say, okay, I'm not of any higher whatever. We're equal. Let's move on. How do you feel like you see that with some of your friends? Is there a time where you have thought like, man, I'm so much better at them than this, but then you take it back and you're like, I can't think that way.
Yeah. With like maturity, I would say I'm better. Like I would think that like if we're in an argument, I've grown as a person, not even just in my faith, but just as a person. Like I don't see things the way I used to see them. So like if me and my friends are in a disagreement, I handle it more maturely than they do. And I'm not saying they're not mature, but I feel like I'm more like I would be more at my mature level than they are. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's just where I see it. And that's why in certain situations with them, I know when I need to stop because I know they're not going to handle it the way I'm going to handle it. So I don't even waste my time. Like, because my friends, I love them, and we've all talked about this before. Like, if we're arguing and I know what I'm saying, not is right, but like, okay, let me give you an example. Let's say we're arguing, right? I know that if we're arguing over um who did this, I'm gonna be like, it's not that big of a deal, so I'm not gonna talk about it, but you're gonna keep going. And if I know that my friends are gonna do that, I don't tend to get involved with the disagreement because it is what it is. And yeah, so to answer the question in a whole, I'd say there's times where I do think like that, but I also think to myself, and I'm like, everyone's growing at a different pace and everybody's trying, and it's hard for people to not like see things the way they see things, or it's hard for people to see things the way that I see things. And we're all at different levels in life as of right now, so I can't judge them. I'm just saying it's like
Yeah.
in certain situations, I just know that it's not going to go anywhere because of how like the different maturity levels are when there's a disagreement. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't like to think like that, but that's an example of like when I think I'm like better.
And like I just also saw this thing on my Bible where it says kind-hearted woman gain honor. And that's Proverbs 11:16, and it stands right beside Proverbs 11:2. As women, we are called to be kind-hearted. In order to be kind-hearted, there has to be humility. There
Mm-hmm.
has to be caring, there has to be respect, there has to be listening, comprehension.
Mm-hmm.
Let me fix that. Comprehension, I think that's the last podcast episode we did, and
Mm-hmm.
that's very important. And as women, if you're a woman listening to this, it's very important that you don't put yourself on a higher pedestal ever. Let's say you are the president. You are on the higher pedestal, but don't put yourself any higher than those who sit among you in the trenches. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's something you have to remember on a day-to-day basis, because there'll be some students who score horribly on tests and you're like, dang, that was an easy test.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put yourself any higher, because they will come ahead of you in the race.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain that, but
No,
let's say
get it.
you keep putting yourself higher. Oh my gosh, I'm so much better than them. All of a sudden, they're going to beat you in that race.
Yes.
They remain slow and steady on their path while you're speeding up your own, and then you hit that point where you're finalized and you can't go any further. And they keep on their slow and steady pace until they go further.
I have a perfect example of that. So, as you guys know, I talked about me getting in student council. And my friend, I don't know if this is what friends do, but a friend of mine, she was running as well. So she was basically just telling me that I should drop out the race and that I'm not smart enough to get in and that like nobody's gonna vote for me and I'm like just wasting my own time. Like I should just drop out because I'm not gonna get in. She was very stuck on her word. I never said anything mean back of the sort. I minded my business and just kept on going on. So I was talking to my friend in class in science, not talking bad about the girl, but just talking about how it made me feel. And she said, "Don't worry, she better start praying because I don't think God will reward her with this," of how she was acting. Because, guys, it was bad. Like, that's not something you would think we're enemies, how she was talking to me. And friends can joke around, but she was genuinely like discouraging me. Like, she wanted me to drop out that race. And I don't know if it was an insecurity that I was going to get in and she wasn't. But let me tell you guys how this ended up. She just kept talking all of last week, and I just stayed quiet. I'm like, you know what? I'm a new person. Like, this is what I mean. I'm a new person. Because the old me, Kayla, I would have just argued with her. But I stayed quiet. You know what? Let's see what's gonna happen. So voting came out. I mean, the thing came out, and I got in out of the 10 people, and she did not. So she was like putting herself on a higher pedestal than me. She really, really thinks she's better than me. And I never had like that animosity towards anybody because like I had a bunch of friends who were running, and instead of discouraging them to drop out, I was encouraging them. I was like, yes,
instead of discouraging, encouraging.
Yes, I was like, I really hope you get in, and I even said to her, I was like, I hope you both get in because it wasn't gonna make it better. And for me, when people are being mean to me, I don't like to be mean back. I just kill it with like kindness.
Kind-hearted women gain honor.
So right. So yesterday I got in, she didn't. I didn't even feel bad. As much as she's my friend, it really just showed me that she can't think she's better and think she's just gonna get everything she wants with the world, how she acts. Like she had no humility. Because anyway, why would you want somebody who's gonna discourage you and just be mean? Because she thinks she's better than everyone. That is her ego. She really thinks she's better than everyone. Why would you want someone like that to leave the school? She thought that I was too dumb to get in. But I got in and she didn't. So how do you think that makes her look? So I posted on my story, not to be petty. I didn't even name drop. I didn't say nothing about directed. I said for the people that were hating on me, in the end, who got in? She slid up on my story and she was like, sorry. Because she knew what she did was wrong and she knew how she looked when all those words saying I should drop out, I'm never going to get in, and I'm too dumb, and I got in and she didn't. That race thing is what made me relate to this because she was going too fast. She was too like in her head that she's just gonna get in and that she's better than everyone, and I was just being humble, going with the
You
flow,
walk your own path.
minding my business, really hoping I was getting in, but I was being humble. I wasn't in people's faces being like, yeah, drop out, you're not gonna get in. So that was the difference between me and her. And as you know, I got in, she didn't. So, but that's what kind of like relates back to, she was thinking highly of herself over me and put herself on this big pedestal. And that just really shows, like, it should be a lesson to everyone. Don't ever put yourself on that above others, because you never know how it's going to turn out in the end. Just, be happy for people. You don't have to be a competition all the time, especially over student council.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's my little connection with that story.
That was so good. Like, here's my thing. They say a good leader has to have humility. A good leader has to be able to listen to people, has to be able to take in advice, and they have to be able to not step up. You have to be able to step above the crowd, but not think above the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to make that make sense again, because I like, when it comes to words, it sounds so like logical in my head, but sometimes my words come out and they just like collapse under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, it's very important for a leader to put themselves with the people, and those are the best leaders. The leaders who can stand with the crowd and say, I'm here for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here. You're not here for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as a leader, you're supposed to be there for them, even when they're not there for you.
Exactly.
And I think that's one thing with humility that really stands out. And I think that's why at the end of the day you got student council, because you were able to know, okay, I'm not above you, but God will provide for me. And know that you have to put God at the forefront of every single thing you think, say, do, accomplish.
I prayed that morning of, and that's what he did.
Amen. And those are the people who deserve those roles, because it's not in their hands. It's in God's hands. And when you leave things in God's hands, oh my god.
And there's nothing to argue about. And that's why I didn't argue, because it wasn't in my hands.
Perfection.
Why would I argue with her if I don't have a say over it? It was God. So I was just like, God's hearing all of it too. Keep talking.
Amen. Amen to that, sister. Yes, I think it's very important. And humility is such a thing that I think our generation is missing. And if it gets really lost in freshman year.
Yeah.
It gets really lost in freshman year and 8th grade year. I feel like when people, at the end of 8th grade year, you start to realize, oh my gosh, we're going into high school, like new step, big whatever. You join 9th grade, which will be you next year. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, I have this, I have that. You don't have this, you don't have that. And there becomes these invisible pedestals that the people around you put you on. You could be at the top of the food chain or the bottom of the food chain freshman year. And if you're close to the bottom, friendships fall apart, you end up isolated. And then if you're at the top, you're with your friends, you're always hanging out, you're invited to everything, da-da-da. And a lot of people will go one way or the other.
Yeah.
But to be one with the people is to say, I'm going to be in the middle. And that's what you have to do. Because for me, I know one thing that I put as a high standard in my life is talking to people. Talking to everybody. Does not matter if you're the quiet kid who sits in the corner. Hey, how are you doing today? It's important.
Yes.
Doesn't matter if you're the loud person on the other side of the room who's yapping their mouths off to everybody. Still love you. I will come talk to you, because it's very important to be in the middle, to understand everybody, and to not put yourself one way or the other.
Yes, I agree, and I think that's the type of person I am. And a lot of my friends think I'm weird, which I am weird, and I'm weird in my own way, but I love myself.
We all are.
How about that? I literally talk to everyone at school. I don't care. I will literally just say hi. Like, literally like, hi, how's your day? And my friends are like, why are you talking to them? I'm like, why not?
Why not?
And that's why I think people voted for me, because I never had this side or this side. I was always in the middle. I would talk to everyone. If I saw somebody in class who was upset, I'd be like, hey, are you okay? Like, because I truly, really do care about everyone and their feelings. And I think everybody deserves a chance to be heard. So for me, like Kayla said, like, I don't want to be at the bottom of the food chain or the top. I just want to be myself in the middle, talk to you here and there
Mm-hmm.
because I care. So I feel like, I don't know, it's just really good to just be nice to everyone. Like, if you see someone walking past, be like, hey, hi. You know, that like little interactions like that
Yeah.
give you a message, oh, that person's nice. And especially for me, because the people I hang around with school aren't as nice as me. So I like stand out.
Yeah.
Because when they see me walk with them in the hallway, most people would think that I'm like them. But since they see how I act towards different people when I'm not with them, like I'm nice, they don't think that. They're like, Samira's like not like them though. She's like different.
Mm.
She's not
When you're with
like
them,
the.
however, do you act like them?
Mm-mm. They
Good.
know. They know. They're like, you're way nicer than this. And I'm like, you guys are still my friends, but we value different things.
Yeah.
We get along. You're fun to hang out with, but I'm not just mean to people for no reason. And they know that.
And that's maturity. And that's what sets you apart from the people
Yeah.
around you. Because I always say it's everybody's first time living life too.
Mm-hmm.
I say that for the circumstance of it. Like, normally it's to my mom. Like, it's my mom's first time living life too.
Mm-hmm.
But it relates to everybody. And there won't necessarily be fair chances. You have definitely argued with your siblings before. If you have siblings, on, oh my goodness, like, this is so unfair. Why did she get this? Why did
All
she
the
get a
time.
phone? Da
Always
da
argue.
da. But then you have to realize, like, it's that humbleness to say, okay, they got that, I didn't, it's done. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you just got to put those things to rest. And I think that's one thing that we've definitely both grown from, especially from baptism too.
Mm-hmm.
You start to take a breath and think, okay, is it worth it? Is it worth my time? I could spend this time with God. That's what I tell myself. Is this, nothing is worth more than God to me. So every situation, the answer is yes. However, I ask myself, would this be what God wants me to argue against?
Exactly.
There's differences in abortion. That's crazy. That's a statement here.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say abortion topic comes up. That's something worth going back and forth about, to put my perspective out there. God's perspective out there on human life is equal for all, you know?
Yeah.
However, now let's say it's something about a sucker. You took my sucker. I'm not about to whatever. Like, there's a humbleness in that as well, saying, okay, understand both sides and just leave it. Or state your opinion and slowly release.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be among.
Yes, I definitely feel like, what's it called? It's good to be like just understanding of everybody in a
Yeah.
way, and really just not like, I can listen to you, but I may not agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's a difference because, for example, like if someone's talking about Kayla to me, well, actually, this is kind of different. Like if you're talking bad about someone to me, I'm not. People always think like you probably agree with them. No, I listened to what they had to say. I didn't say nothing. Like there's certain times in a conversation where you just don't have to talk, and that person's gonna keep talking.
Yeah.
And once that person realizes that you're not gonna agree with them, then they get mad. But for me, I don't like if anyone talks about my friend in any way. I'm just there. I will never agree with you, or I'll tell you to stop. I'll stop you right in your tracks and be like, "That's my friend, so don't do that." You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like you can listen to someone, but you don't always have to agree. Like you're like your own opinion. And then another thing about the humble thing, for me, like one of my bestest friends, like basically my family, they're moving, right? And you know,
I wonder who that is.
and people think like, oh, like how do you feel? I'm happy for them. What? What am I supposed to feel? Am I supposed to feel mad or jealous?
Oh my gosh, they're moving. Like, I'm so upset.
God has opened a new door for them, and I'm so close with them that I'm happy. It's like something new for me too, because I'm literally always at their house. I live there basically. So this is just such a new step for them, and I feel like people always like they'll find the littlest things for you to just like break off with someone. Like they're like, oh, she's moving in, you're not. Like she got a way bigger house than you. Like how does that feel? I'm happy with what I have. I'm grateful for what I have and what my mom has provided, and I'm very happy for the next people that are moving on to bigger things in life.
Amen.
So, and I'm humble about it. I feel no emotion but happiness, and I feel like when somebody does something big or like accomplish something, like you just gotta be happy for someone. There's no need to feel jealous because at the end of the day, God's opening doors for people like at separate times. It may not be your time to have that big door open. Like maybe I'm gonna move in the next 5 years and then they'll be happy for me, but not everything's gonna line up with everyone else. So be happy for people so they can be happy for you when it's your time that you did something good. Remember
Not
that.
everything is going to line up for everyone.
Exactly.
Very important. Everybody is at a different place in life. In fact, you just gave me your next topic idea. Jealousy. I love well, not like it's not like I love jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very, this sounds condescending or contradicting, whatever the word is. Again, don't word well. I am not the jealous type, and I think Samira can attest to that for me as well. Like, I don't get jealous.
Mhm.
There's only certain like circumstances where I'm like, oh, I wish I had that, but I've grown past it. Like, if someone has a $5 million house and I'm here, I'm happy, bro. Go live your life. I want that, but I'm not jealous for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes to that with me and friends as well. Like, I can't wait for us to do that topic.
Yeah, I feel like there's a difference between being jealous and like you wanting it too. Well,
yeah.
Also, I don't know where this is in the Bible or what scripture, but I know there's something in the Bible talking about like don't wish you had something else that someone else's.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, I know.
Be
you're
happy
talking
for what you have. Like, don't. If I see what Kayla has, like, I'm not supposed to be like, I want that. Like, be happy for what you have. So,
and maybe you can want it, but don't wish you like.
Yeah.
Okay, how do I put that into words? You can want it, but don't wish that they didn't have it necessarily.
Don't wish
because
they
you
didn't
don't
have it. Exactly. Like, for example, like this freaking like what would Jesus do bracelets. I want one. But I don't
take one.
I don't wish I had it over Kayla. Like, that's the difference. You can want something because, you know, people set trends. Like, if you see one person has it, you might want it too. And that's normal, like, in this generation right now.
But don't be jealous about it. Don't wish they didn't have it.
Yeah. Like, that's the difference for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's important. I can't wait to talk about the topic.
Me too. Woo! Guys, next week's going to be good. You better tune in or tune out.
Yeah, we need a clock a person. So, yeah. Very excited. I don't know, man. Humility is just such a topic I see in high school. And as I'm looking on my senior wall right now, it probably looks like I'm staring off into the blue.
Yeah.
All those people would talk to each other.
Yeah.
All these people would get along with each other. And I think that's something that you'll see in high school too. You start off so like segregated. Like everybody, like girls, guys, popular, unpopular, readers, writers.
Like those little cliques.
Band, soccer.
Is it actually how it looks in the movies? Like the cliques? Like they only sit with each other at lunch?
You have your friend groups, right? It's not like soccer, football, volleyball. That's not what the cliques look like. My friend group has a person every single sport. Yeah. But we're also a friend group that stays together. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
However, we also are a friend group that branches out. At first, in our freshman year, a lot of us just talk to each other, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But we all have learned to branch out, and I think that's what all these seniors have done. Any of them can sit and have a conversation, and you learn it from freshman year versus senior year. Humility starts to disappear, and you start to realize, like, this is your last.
Yeah.
It's gonna be me. Oh my gosh. This is your last.
Next year. I'm so excited.
Bro, every day I question if I should have done it this year.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, there's just something about humility that you have to have in order to form connections, to have bonds.
And it's a good thing to have. So if you feel like you're not really having that, you should work on it because it's a very good trait. Like, I wish like every person I met had it, but they don't.
And like, there's gonna be things that you have that I don't have. You know, like all those bracelets.
Yeah.
But you're humble about it. Mm-hmm. You know, like you're just not like flashing them off everywhere.
Yeah.
Let's say all those earrings right there. Mm-hmm. I have those. Maybe Samira doesn't have that. Mm-hmm. Does not mean that I'm not humble about it. Does not mean like I'm like, look what I have. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to not take so much pride in what you accomplish.
Yeah.
If you're, I guess I'm on Lead Academy. I don't go around being like, look what I did, look what I did, look what I did.
Mhm.
I'm like, look what we were able to accomplish. Because it's also a we thing. However, I'll be quiet until someone asks about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have to say it unless it's asked about. And that doesn't go for every situation because you can be proud of yourself. There's a difference between being proud and being prideful.
Yes, exactly. Like for student council, I will talk about it because I'm very proud of myself. Like I am very proud of myself because I pushed and I worked really hard. So there's a difference of me, like literally yesterday, I'm like, guys, like, guess you got on student council, and you know people are happy because that's something that you accomplished. Especially as a black girl, not even trying to make it like that. But at my school, there's not a lot of people who ran.
There was only you're the only one who was black that got on there, right?
The only girl. So
you're the only girl.
The only girl that's black that
is gotcha.
in. So I felt very proud of myself. Like that's what made it even better. So that's a difference of me being proud, but I'm like, that's me being proud of myself. But like when you're not being humble is like, look at this, look at this, like look at this. That's not being humble. That. So there's a difference of like being proud and then like just like bragging about like everything you have. But you can be proud, like, oh, let's say I painted that thing on your wall, like look what I did. I'm so proud of myself. That's different.
Yeah. That's different. And I feel like to take on a bigger spectrum, which I didn't know I was going to take it on. But let's say with parents. Parents also, I don't know if I'm speaking to any parents out there. Parents need to be humble as adults as well. When we get to that level, I'll be able to talk on it better. Because at the end of the day, I know my place and I know I'm not an adult yet. I don't have children yet. But as a parent, I think you also have to be humble in knowing that these are your children. Be humble in knowing that you put them there. But also, at the end of the day, you have to take leadership. You have to take the role. Be humble knowing that you were there too, though. Like, you have to have humbleness as a parent to say, okay, I gotta give grace.
Yeah.
Or I gotta do this because I'm not any better than them when I was younger.
Yeah, like, I feel like that goes for a lot. Like, sometimes my mom's, like, on it for me. But then sometimes, like, I realize, like, I can see the change in her mind. And she's, like, from her being on it with me, she's like, okay. She just breathes because she knows that, like, she was a teenager once too. So not everything has to be so hard on me, but she understands, like, I'm a teenager and, like, if I come home late, like, she understands. Like, she tries to, like, put herself back into how, like, what she was. But it's different because she was in Africa.
That's why I say to my mom too.
Then also it's way different because, like, I'm growing up in America. She grew up in Africa, so it's hard to balance the two because we grew up way differently. But she still tries to understand, and then that's where I try to understand that that's not how she grew up. So she's gonna see things differently. But yeah,
I always talk about parenting, and because it differs for us because a lot of the people we're around, their parents, put that. That wasn't a lag, guys.
Wait, what did you even say? Oh my gosh, yeah. Kayla, don't do that again. I'm gonna edit that video.
You better not. I love that part. But what I was saying was, what was I saying?
You said parenting. You like to talk about parenting?
Because our parents, we're very different from the people we're around. A lot of people we're around, their parents didn't grow up in Africa. Are you kidding? We live in Iowa. People are white.
Exactly.
Wait. Am I darker than you?
No.
I'm getting there though. You wait till I come back from Florida. But our parents grew up in very different places, so we have the humbleness to also say, okay, when our parents say you need to do this, you need to get a job, you need to da-da-da. A lot of people don't understand that. I'll talk about how my mom parents, and people will be like, she does what? I'll have to be like, yeah, that's how she grew up. And there has to be understandability there too. Because parenting is different for every parent. No parent is perfect. And you're not ever going to get exactly what you want as a child. And if you do, please tell me how, because...
Yeah, like, never on the secret cheat code.
Yeah, because there's no way. You can have conversation after conversation after conversation, and there's still going to be things that don't click, that don't work. And so with humility, you have to say, like, okay, maybe I have it better than the next, so I shouldn't be acting any type of way. And I feel like You can even put yourself below the crowd.
Yeah.
Not me. Stay below the crowd.
Stutters, crazy.
Bro, yes, I know. It's okay. You can be like me one day too, Pookie. Either way, there's a humility that comes with it, and maybe I'm just like crashing and burning today because I can't word, but
Yeah.
I can't speak. Let me change that word as well. But with our parents being different, that's something that we take into account also in dealing with other situations, because we know how to handle a lot more situations because of how our parents raised us. That's something to also keep in mind. But yeah, that's kind of all I have for today.
Me as well. I would say you said like most of everything
There's
covered.
definitely more, but I think
jealousy. Oh my gosh.
jealousy might just take the cake and eat it too, because that is
Yes.
such a good topic. And I can't wait to talk about that. So if
Yes.
you're watching this, reach out, go fill out our form,
If you wanna
and
come on the podcast.
we'll get you on, babes. As summer opens, we'll get more people on. Anywho, this is the Unscripted Podcast with
S
and K. You guys have a good one.
Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye.